Paper 47. The Seven Mansion Worlds. The Creator's Son, when on Urantia, spoke of the many mansions in the Father's universe. In a certain sense, all 56 of the encircling worlds of Jerusalem are devoted to the transitional culture of ascending mortals, but the 7 satellites of world number 1 are more specifically known as the Mansion Worlds. Transition World number 1 itself is quite exclusively devoted to ascendant activities, being the headquarters of the Finaliter Corps assigned to Satania. This world now serves as the headquarters for more than 100,000 companies of Finaliters, and there are 1,000 glorified beings in each of these groups. When a system is settled in light and life, and as the mansion worlds one by one cease to serve as mortal training stations, they are taken over by the increasing Finaliter population which accumulates in these older and more highly perfected systems. The 7 mansion worlds are in charge of the Urantia supervisors and the Melchizedeks. There is an acting governor on each world who is directly responsible to the Jerusalem rulers. The Uversa conciliators maintain headquarters on each of the mansion worlds, while adjoining is the local rendezvous of the technical advisors. The reversion directors and celestial artisans maintain group headquarters on each of these worlds. The Spiranja function from Mansion World number 2 onward, while all 7, in common with the other transitional culture planets and the headquarters world, are abundantly provided with Spornasia of standard creation. 1. The Finaliters World. Although only Finaliters and certain groups of salvaged children and their caretakers are resident on Transitional World number 1, provision is made for the entertainment of all classes of spirit beings, transition mortals, and student visitors. The Spornasia, who function on all of these worlds, are hospitable hosts to all beings whom they can recognize. They have a vague feeling concerning the Finaliters, but cannot visualize them. They must regard them much as you do the angels in your present physical state. Though the Finaliter world is a sphere of exquisite physical beauty and extraordinary Urantia embellishment, the Great Spirit abode located at the center of activities, the Temple of the Finaliters, is not visible to the unaided material or early Urantia vision, but the energy transformers are able to visualize many of these realities to ascending mortals, and from time to time they do thus function, as on the occasions of the class assemblies of the Mansion World students on this cultural sphere. All through the Mansion World experience you are in a way spiritually aware of the presence of your glorified brethren of paradise attainment, but it is very refreshing, now and then, actually to perceive them as they function in their headquarters abodes. You will not spontaneously visualize Finaliters until you acquire true spirit vision. On the first Mansion World, all survivors must pass the requirements of the Parental Commission from their native planets. The present Urantia Commission consists of 12 parental couples, recently arrived, who have had mortal experience in rearing 3 or more children to the pubescent age. Service on this commission is rotational and is for only 10 years as a rule. All who fail to satisfy these commissioners as to their parental experience must further qualify by service in the homes of the material sons on Jerusalem, or in part in the probationary nursery on the Finaliters world. But irrespective of parental experience, Mansion World parents who have growing children in the probation nursery are given every opportunity to collaborate with the Urantia custodians of such children regarding their instruction and training. These parents are permitted to journey there for visits as often as 4 times a year, and it is one of the most touchingly beautiful scenes of all the ascending career to observe the Mansion World parents embrace their material offspring on the occasions of their periodic pilgrimages to the Finaliter world. While one or both parents may leave a Mansion World ahead of the child, they are quite often contemporary for a season. No ascending mortal can escape the experience of rearing children, their own or others, either on the material worlds or subsequently on the Finaliter world or on Jerusalem. Fathers must pass through this essential experience just as certainly as mothers. It is an unfortunate and mistaken notion of modern peoples on Urantia that child culture is largely the task of mothers. Children need fathers as well as mothers, and fathers need this parental experience as much as do mothers. 2. The probationary nursery. The infant receiving schools of Satania are situated on the finaliter world, the first of the Jerusalem transition culture spheres. These infant receiving schools are enterprises devoted to the nurture and training of the children of time, including those who have died on the evolutionary worlds of space before the acquirement of individual status on the universe records. In the event of the survival of either or both of such a child's parents, the guardian of destiny deputizes her associated cherubim as the custodian of the child's potential identity, charging the cherubim with the responsibility of delivering this undeveloped soul into the hands of the mansion world teachers in the probationary nurseries of the Urantia worlds. It is these same deserted cherubim who, as mansion world teachers, under the supervision of the Melchizedeks, maintain such extensive educational facilities for the training of the probationary wards of the finaliters. These wards of the finaliters, these infants of ascending mortals, are always personalized as of their exact physical status at the time of death, except for reproductive potential. This awakening occurs at the exact time of the parental arrival on the first mansion world. And then are these children given every opportunity, as they are, to choose the heavenly way just as they would have made such a choice on the worlds where death so untimely terminated their careers. On the nursery world, probationary creatures are grouped according to whether or not they have adjusters, for the adjusters come to indwell these material children just as on the worlds of time. Children of pre-adjuster ages are cared for in families of 5, ranging in ages from 1 year and under, up to approximately 5 years, or that age when the adjuster arrives. All children on the evolving worlds who have thought adjusters, but who before death had not made a choice concerning the paradise career, are also repersonalized on the finaliter world of the system, where they likewise grow up in the families of the material sons and their associates, as do those little ones who arrived without adjusters, but who will subsequently receive mystery monitors after attaining the requisite age of moral choice. The adjuster-indwelt children and youths on the finaliter world are also reared in families of 5, ranging in ages from 6 to 14 approximately. These families consist of children whose ages are 6, 8, 10, 12, and 14. Any time after 16, if final choice has been made, they translate to the first mansion world and begin their paradise ascent. Some make a choice before this age and go on to the ascension spheres, but very few children under 16 years of age, as reckoned by Urantia standards, will be found on the mansion worlds. The guardian seraphim attend these youths in the probationary nursery on the finaliter world just as they spiritually minister to mortals on the evolutionary planets, while the faithful Spornasia minister to their physical necessities. And so do these children grow up on the transition world until such time as they make their final choice. When material life has run its course, if no choice has been made for the ascendant life, or if these children of time definitely decide against the Havona adventure, death automatically terminates their probationary careers. There is no adjudication of such cases, there is no resurrection from such a second death. They simply become as though they had not been. But if they choose the paradise path of perfection, they are immediately made ready for translation to the first mansion world, where many of them arrive in time to join their parents in the Havona ascent. After passing through Havona and attaining the deities, these salvaged souls of mortal origin constitute the permanent ascendant citizenship of paradise. These children who have been deprived of the valuable and essential evolutionary experience on the worlds of mortal nativity are not mustered into the core of the finality. 3. The first mansion world. On the mansion worlds, the resurrected mortal survivors resume their lives just where they left off when overtaken by death. When you go from Urantia to the first mansion world, you will notice considerable change, but if you had come from a more normal and progressive sphere of time, you would hardly notice the difference except for the fact that